The worst horror movie I ever saw was fucking great.
Hello and welcome to This May Hurt a Bit. My name is James Strayer and this is
John C. Myers.
And we are a horror franchise podcast discussing each film in horror franchises. And today we are discussing the TV show Chucky from 2021. Yeah, like we were mentioning, I believe last episode, this rolls right into the exact same continuity. And we were just like, yeah, nuts to an hour and a half long movie. Let's do 8 hours of TV and try to cram all this in. So, it was a different experience to cram all this in and take notes and think about this and that kind of thing. And I have less of a hard and fast opinion about this than I did overall. Very much enjoying each one of the films. I guess I just found over the course of 8 hours, this was a little bit more unwieldy. Though overall, I liked it.
It's a different beast entirely when you're moving television, and there's no shortage of either movies that they've spun off into television shows, things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, for example, or Fargo, I guess, where it's like you take those are both a little bit different, but you basically take the central premise and you kind of go off from there and kind of do its own thing. But then you get more recently, there have been these short little mini series of movies that get turned into TV show, like Presumed Innocent. It happened recently, was with like Jake Gyllenhaal, I think. And they're currently, as we are talking about this, the Cape Fear is just started, which I don't fully understand. I think you run the risk in these cases of taking a thing that already exists in an hour and a half, 2 hour kind of form, and then Bilbo Bagginsing it, like just spreading it too thin across bread, like butter across bread. This is the format of this is different because it is not just what if we made a Chucky movie, a 8 or 10 episode series. What if we made a 10 episode series about Chucky? Right. And so there's not so much filler. I mean, it's hard to want to call some of this stuff filler as it is just sort of the nature of television. You have all these like little plots going on. Yeah. As a result, some of those plots I don't like that much and I don't care about. And it's harder to get excited. It doesn't have the thrills of just the sit down, here's Chucky doing his thing and go. But there's positives and negatives to that because you can get a little bit more in depth with the characters and the story, but then you sacrifice some other stuff for that. Yeah, and I feel like the big difference with this, and the reason why I was excited to kind of dive into it is, like I said, just this is a continuation after 7 Chucky movies, so it's not just like we're going to do Child's Play the first time we meet Chucky, drawn out over 8 episodes, right? And with Chucky, you really have to balance all the different tones that were a part of the Child's Play movie series. So you've got the tone of the first 3, which is more murderous, and then you've got the latter half tone, which is more, campy and queer and fun. And I'm sure that was difficult to do. And I feel like they stuck the landing most of the time with that. I felt like there was an overall consistent feel to this, but that just meant that each episode could kind of like wildly swing one way or the other. Right. Yeah. And it's not just Don Mancini writing all this. Yeah. Which is a difference as well, that there are other writers and producers involved. But it still is largely, his voice. And so you see some of the same kind of stuff that even though it's focused more on teens and young people, that we're still getting, allusions to Frankenstein and classic stuff that he likes. Right. One of those people that was also involved, and this was purely like coincidental for me, but Harley Peyton, one of the showrunners of the second season of Twin Peaks, and just here in Portland a few weeks ago, Mark Frost came through promoting and doing a reading of his newest book. And he was there with none other than Harley Peyton, who is just appeared to be along for the ride. He was almost like barely facilitating the conversation, but he was just kind of like hanging out with his bud a little bit. And of course, I took my Twin Peaks books to get signed, and I bought his new book, of course. But when I was standing there waiting to talk to Mark Frost briefly,
I mentioned to Harley, I just said like, oh, I just started the Chucky series. And he just says, oh yeah, that was a fun one. We sat in a writer's room all day and just came up with all these different ways to murder people. And it was a blast to work on. So
yeah, there's no shortage of inventive deaths in this.
Yes, which is what we want.
Right.
But yeah, like this still feels Don Mancini, but also people writing in his voice a little bit, people knowing how to take, when you write for TV, you're not writing your own material. You're a group of 6 to 8 writers who are writing in the tone and quality and feeling of the person who came up with the show in the first place, which is its own challenge and skill.
This one definitely feels a lot more geared towards a demographic because it's coming straight off the movies, that there's a built-in like, hey, fans of Chucky. But because this is really about like young teens and their struggles in ways that the movies have not been.
Right.
It's a bit of a change. And it's just a lot of it is a teen drama in that regard.
Yeah. Teen drama. And, it was shown on the Syfy network and USA, I believe. It always cracks me up that Syfy rebranded to SYFY because we don't want to talk about that nerd shit.
Right. Yeah.
Sci-fi channel, Yep. But it still appears to have like a pretty decent budget. Like calling this like a cable TV show is not the knock on it that it might have once been. I don't feel like they lost anything with the gore and the violence and the swearing and stuff like that you might in previous iterations of what cable TV is.
I can't speak to whether or not they were writing for the budget necessarily, but this is not a movie, or sorry, this is not a series that has like the production values are good. There's not like huge what am I trying to say? There's not like gigantic flashy set pieces. Yeah. That isn't to say there's not like big events that happen, and those big events usually involve Chucky and are pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't seem like there's a huge loss in quality there.
But yeah, you don't have a giant carnival with a spinning fan set to build to drop Chucky into. Right. Yeah. Or a gigantic toy factory or something like that. I mean, I guess the biggest set piece was the final episode, which makes sense.
Yeah. The final episode, that the flaming house party was a big one. And so as a result, like there are things that I just have to set aside as like, this is just what things are now. And I can't be mad specifically at the show about it. For example, the fact that most everyone's house looks like an Airbnb, that nothing really feels lived in. I'd argue that the main character, Jake, that his house is a little bit, because he's like the poor kid, it's a little bit more lived in. And maybe that's just how people live now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a slob.
Yeah.
And then just the way that modern lighting, how we do modern lighting, I don't enjoy.
Right.
And I was watching a whole series about that, just about the history of lighting by Devin Scott, which is available on YouTube through VIFF. Talk about how like there's been a change over time for lights to be a lot more practical. To be like, we need to be able to see what the source of the light is. It can't just kind of be this generalized light. Like you think about how bright their apartment is in the first Child's Play.
Right.
And like, where's all that light coming from? And now it's a little bit like, no, it has to be from this lamp.
Sure.
And that can often be dark and moody, but to me, so often it's just dark and hard to see.
Yeah. I would like to see what's going on this screen that I'm watching, please.
Yeah. And there's a lot of discussion about why that's the case. It's not just the motivated lighting. It's also, some people are like, well, we don't have enough time to light properly. We're lighting for
color grading.
We're lighting for color grading, but mostly that a lot of the darkening and that kind of stuff happens in color grading, because with digital images, unlike film, you have a lot more leeway to control so much.
Sure.
So some people are like, no, it's a labor problem. It's a time issue. It's a money issue. But other people are like, no, we just like it to look this way. Other people have said like, no, it's because we're expecting people to watch this in inopportune viewing conditions, like on their phones or with a TV in front of a window.
Yep.
Don't know. There's one answer for it. That's just what's happening now. And God darn it, I don't like it.
Right.
That isn't to say that this looks bad. There's some lovely cinematography going on. It's just a style I don't much care for.
Yeah. And a lot of this does also just have the benefit, as we've said throughout talking about these movies, is like Don Mancini has so much goodwill from me that I'm, even when I watch this and I have a hard time parsing out whether it be the character motivations or what's going on to what meta level, sometimes I'm just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just it's Don just kind of doing what he wants to do, and I'm pretty okay with that. And even if you asked me to break down exactly how Nika and Jennifer Tilly and who is what character halfway through this TV show, I probably couldn't tell you, but I was enjoying watching it.
Or just like how it all kind of connects together. I'm still not 100% clear about all the machinations leading up to their grand plan. Kind of seemed like they didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't care. It's fine.
Sure. Like I'm having a good enough time that I'm not pissed off and like wondering like why it was written this way.
But I also think because Chucky's fairly chaotic, it's, it's also like, why don't I just do this too?
Yeah, there you go.
And same thing where like there's a joke at the end where Mancini Chucky name drops Mancini is a great writer. And, when you're watching these like all back to back to back, there's you're a little bit like, okay, buddy. But then you think, no, this has been his entire life. This has been what he's been doing.
For sure.
So absolutely. You've carried this through this long. Go for it. That's all you, baby.
So this takes place in Hackensack, New Jersey, which is, I don't know why they said it there other than the fact that it sounds funny.
It's a great comedy name.
Yeah. Hackensack or Hack and Slash,
that works in there too.
It's fully just like, and everybody makes fun of New Jersey all the time. I have barely spent any time there, so I have no opinion whatsoever about New Jersey other than The Sopranos. But which I'm sure is all very real life.
That's your opinion is The Sopranos.
Exactly. Yes. Tony Soprano and the Toxic Avenger are out there somewhere just hanging out together. And that's kind of what I know about New Jersey. But the other movies took place in Chicago. And so I don't know exactly why they picked this. But again, I don't think it matters. I think they just wanted like a small suburban town feel to it.
It gives it an excuse to look back at Chucky because this is Chucky's hometown. And so we get to see Chucky's origins. Which honestly, I don't care. I didn't care. Like it's fun. It's fun that there's at a certain point in the flashbacks when he's old enough, as we mentioned before, Charles Lee Ray is played by a made up Fiona Dorff, which is very funny. And she's over the top with it and whatever. And then a different actress plays Tiffany, but is still voiced by Jennifer Tilly, which is also kind of funny. But all the stuff of like him being a kid. Yeah. Don't care. Yeah. I think they successfully played with that a bit. And I don't know how you want to go through this if I'm jumping ahead.
No, I was actually going to make a joke about the first scene of the first and then just being like, we're not going to go through every scene of this stupid 8-hour thing.
Yeah. We have to do it really quick. Okay. Yeah. And then he went there. Okay.
And then he does this.
Yeah. They kind of set it up in this way that is going to be like his trauma, that this is what set him off on this path is that his family was murdered. And then he just helps.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of fun. That was a fun little twist on it.
That was kind of fun.
But then some of it is also retconning, as they say, retroactively adding stuff to Chucky's backstory, which they've done before. They did in Cult of Chucky.
Yeah.
But like the idea that he's kind of been this mastermind that tries to get people to do stuff for him, that like he did with that group of troubled kids, works in the context of this story, but it's not really something that he's ever really done up to this point.
That's true. Yeah, the orphanage stuff was pretty weak to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that fun to watch. Like it didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah, that one just kind of felt like it killed some time. Again, the performers in it were all right. They looked fine, but it just story-wise, it wasn't particularly that interesting to me. As I say, it sort of sets up what Chucky's machinations in this, but I don't know that you needed to do that. Yeah. You could have just had him do that because it's fine. Because he is so much of this. Chucky in this is so much more of a Machiavelli
pulling the strings,
working all these scenes to get kids to kill each other and do all this stuff for no end other than it just seems it pleases him.
Yes. Yeah.
Rather than just going out and killing people himself, which, he's always looking for a thrill. So maybe he's just like, well, I haven't done this before. Let's try this. Or I have some time to kill before Tiffany gets here with the van. So
exactly.
And then it just lets you, it's an excuse also to just hang out with the kid actors a lot more.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, every time that it went back to Fiona Dorff dressed up as Tommy Wiseau, Brad Dourif, I was like, I am totally fine with this. I loved the kind of crappy, but still kind of okay, like ADR of it all. Just having the two voices that made it feel like that elevated camp level. And I was like, great, good on that stuff. It must be a little bit weird to be like, Don Mancini directing his friend's daughter to make out with this other woman while in male drag, and just like, but hey, great. They looked like they were all having such a good time with it. And by the time, it got a little like Bonnie and Clyde and, Natural Born Killers-y, them on the road, like killing people and stuff. But I always loved her performance as her father. And that had to have been so much fun.
And I did enjoy obviously we're going to get into spoiler territory here.
Yes.
But the reveal at the end, speaking of retconning, where it was Tiffany that called in Detective Norris to go tipped off where Charles Lee Ray was, where he gets shot to get turned into the doll. That it's just that he was just a shitty cop. Yeah. he wasn't, he's been on this case, but he's just kind of doing the Doc Hayward thing, throwing pencils up at the ceiling.
Totally. Then
he gets calls like, oh, I've cracked the case. Yes. Someone told me directly where he was.
I also at this point in the show or in the franchise, and especially because this series can be a little tongue in cheek at times, this kind of retconning didn't bother me so much because it reminded me of what I enjoyed about how stupid the Saw franchise got with constant going back and showing other stuff. Depending on your tone, that doesn't work. But for the tone of Chucky and them constantly reinventing and reinvigorating themselves, I thought that was just kind of funny.
Yeah, it's par for the course on this. And the fact that it's like, at a certain point, you're talking about a doll that was brought back with voodoo. So how mad can you really be about it?
Totally. Yeah.
Because the movie, I mean, the series knows this as well. The series plays with that,
right?
Knows it has the leeway to get away with that and does so without being too winky about it, which is nice.
Sure. Yeah. So all the flashbacks, fine. But didn't add up to a whole lot, but got to pad out eight episodes here, and that got us more Brad Dourif. As far as the main characters go, they were all fine, and none of them really popped out to me, to be perfectly honest, whether their performances or their personalities or anything. I just thought that they were just sort of vessels, and I always hesitate to criticize too hard like a child actor and their performances, but I feel like they were just sort of serviceable. Like, I didn't get drawn into anything. I mean, I did kind of like the episode where Jake and Devin finally have their first kiss was like kind of sweet, just because coming of age stuff is always fun. Yeah. But overall, I don't know. I wasn't drawn into any of them, and especially not really Lex either.
Yeah. See, Lexi, played by Olivia Allen Lind, is in a tough position because her character is written really big. Yes. It's like, bad character like mean character in a Friday the 13th movie, kind of big. Like particularly the one I'm thinking of, I forget the character's name, but the one in part 7, with the psychic one where she's just needlessly mean for no good reason.
Yeah.
But I still think like she plays that she plays an annoying character without being annoying herself, which I think is a tough battle sometimes. And I think she does a good enough job, and her character changes over time and, has some growth and realizations, and that's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, Zachary Arthur as Jake, again, fine job. I just, I don't want to critique the performance as much as like he did a good job at what he needed to do. It wasn't that drastic of a thing, I guess. I will say I did like the relationship between him and Devin. Devin is another example of Don Mancini in this series kind of focusing on underdogs, the marginalized, in this case, perhaps the most marginalized group in America, podcasters.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So that spoke to me a lot. And he and Jake are also gay, which is not as difficult as being a podcaster. And they eventually kind of like realize that about themselves and get together. And it's that was very sweet. I did like them together.
Yes.
And it did feel weird as a 46-year-old man to watch a teenager and go like, kiss the boy, kiss him.
Right.
But they did, they did build that tension pretty well. And I thought they were both good.
Yeah. I like the reaction after, like they're on the bikes and they have that moment and they're just like kind of giddy, but they don't know really what to do except like, well, I guess it's time to go home now. Like that just felt real and sweet. And I dug that. Which
is, again, like I enjoyed that, but I'm also watching a Chucky thing. So it's
sure.
I'm a little bit less interested in that. That being said, they did that stuff very well and kept me interested enough in that. And then I was really unnecessarily excited to see Devon Sawa in this.
You become very much a Devon Sawa head.
Because Devon Sawa is in this as twins, as two different characters, which I just love because why not? Every other character is 8 different people. Why not? And he, as both Jake's drunk mean dad and Jake's mean sober uncle. Well, I think maybe he drinks. I don't know. Who's like really pushing Jake's cousin, Junior, who's called Junior, to be the top athlete. It seems nice at first, but then is revealed to be just a huge turd. But I think Devon Sawa, he plays both those characters differently enough. Like gives them their own personalities, and it's just nice to see him.
Early on, the Devon Sawa #1 gets killed electrocution. But Chucky sort of like goads him on to do it. He like sets it up to make sure that the electrocution happens. And that just started this level of like, so why is Chucky wanting to kill all the parents? Like, and it never really, in a general sort of sense, I'm like, okay, it's fine. Chucky comes to town, wants kids to kill their parents. Like that is a very basic through line. It can be kind of fun. But maybe I'm giving this too much credence of being like, well, I liked it when he had a goal of jumping from, into a body. Right. Now does it matter? And maybe I just need to let that go. And maybe he is just a little chaos monster.
Well, I think that's again some of dealing with the television medium is I think there's this drive to want to make it a little bit more like puzzle boxy. So it's like next time on. So you're not ending every episode with like, well, is that Chucky behind the drapes? Oh, it's not. Oh, thank God. Well, what about this week? Is that Chucky behind the drapes? Oh, it's not. Thank God.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit like this unveiling of some kind of master plan he has, which he never does. He's always just like, crap, I got to do this now.
Yeah.
Although a little bit, perhaps a little bit more in Cult, which was just more like, I'm going to go harass Nika even further.
Sure.
And that would have been real grim if that's all we got with this series, is because the Nika, Tiffany, Chucky thing is still ongoing, where Chucky is in and out of Nika. Like when she sees blood, he leaves.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, but so there's that drama as well, and the relationship shifting in that dynamic, the relationship dynamic shifting in that triangle of people.
As the show kind of goes on, I did lose a little bit of track of him body jumping from Nika to there's a Tommy doll. It was just like after the Chucky doll gets like kind of melted up, and he kind of looks like Toxie again. He jumps into Tommy doll. This is just how it is now. He can just like jump and splinter his soul off into multiple dolls. And it's just like whenever it's convenient, fine.
Yep. Yeah. With that, it's they still do the thing with like, there's not really whoever the primary Chucky is does not matter.
Right.
Like at one point, like there, when it's revealed that the big plan is that he's just going to put this army of Chuckies out there. They've been collecting the dolls and he's going to strike at Hackensack with all of them. One of them is like asking questions. What's the youngest we can kill?
Yeah.
But there's this kind of deferral to that one, but then it also doesn't matter. They're all willing to be like, well, I'm Chucky, but I'm a different Chucky and it's fine. And we're all after the same thing. We're all brothers.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the main goal. Like by the end of this season, he wants to splinter his own soul out into as many different Chuckies as possible. And I guess it was like 70 some or something like that. Like Tiffany has come to town with her own collection of vintage good guy dolls, which is so dumb. But I was like, yeah, great. Fine.
Sure.
Obviously, let us not skip over how nice it was to see Jennifer Tilly walking onto the scene here. So not that I felt like TV was beneath her because this is a different era, but I was just like, will she show up? I didn't know if she was in this or not. I just didn't know if she was like too movie star. But I'm so thankful that she was just like, well, yeah, there's not going to be a Chucky show without me.
Right. Yeah. and she's fantastic and brings her own level of chaos to the whole thing. Because she's still Jennifer Tilly, even though it's Tiffany as Jennifer Tilly, but there's still Tiffany the doll as well.
Yes.
there's a lot going on there, but they don't really underline the way that, say, Seed did about like Jennifer Tilly and her stardom level or anything like that. It's just repeatedly people are like, who?
Yeah.
Like there's not a real sure who she is, or that she's just a monster and people just accept it. Like at the end when we're getting to the big set piece in the theater, and one of the little girls like, I want the Chucky doll to watch the movie with us. Well, these dolls are supposed to be, she's supposed to be donating all these dolls to sick kids.
Yeah.
Jennifer Tilly's like, I'm sure one measly little sick kid can get over not having a doll. And
totally.
It's just being awful. And I love it.
Yeah. She makes a couple of Bound jokes, of course, because she's got to keep that through line going. But yeah, great to see her. And yeah, that's the overall goal here. Just splinter into all these different Chuckies. Fine. Yeah. Big deal. Other characters from the series, we got Andy and Kyle. They're kind of on the road as like this. I mean, they're not Mulder and Scully, but I just kind of kept looking at them like that. Yeah. Especially when they're dressed in the suits in that one scene, which was a great scene where they're like, they say that they're like census takers. And that is a perfectly fun idea for those two just hitting the road looking for Chucky dolls to kill along the way. Great. Yeah.
Two insane people on a road trip to shoot a doll.
Perfect.
It's magical.
I will say, much like Cult, I was just a little bit cold with what they ultimately did with Andy. In Cult, it was kind of funny, like that idea of like Andy gets all the way there and he promptly gets locked in a cell. Yeah. That works once, but this time I'm just like, will he be back in the second season? Like, what's like, he's come all this way and then practically nothing happens because we're focused on the new characters, as I guess you should be. But I don't know. Andy was a little inconsequential.
Right. Well, I mean, he does come in at the end to foil the plan, but it does seem like a lot of build up for not as much as you would hope. Like, like same thing where like he just like leaves Kyle behind at one point, and it was like, well, okay, well, I guess she's done now.
Right. Yeah. So she's like, that was the last we saw of her. She's stranded, and that's just one of those like, I can't take you into danger type of things for whatever dumb reason. That
just didn't read for me because it was like, you've been a part of this the whole time. What's different now?
Yeah.
How is she getting in your way? So I don't think they really established that well enough. Which is fine. It was nice to see those characters again.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, like I said, like that seems like the natural place for them to be, hunting Chuckies together. Did you like all the Westworld jokes early on?
Yeah, so that was something. So I have from the jump, I've been an avowed Westworld hater.
Yes.
And so that little jokes about like
the writing,
life's too short.
Yes.
To watch Westworld, I very much enjoyed.
That was one of those early ones where, like, when I first started watching the first 3 episodes, like I wanted to text you, and I was like, no, but it'll be way funnier if I don't draw this attention to you.
Much in the same way that I knew like what happened when the new season of Daredevil started.
Oh yes,
because like 8 different people were like, you got to check it out, you got to watch it, because I hate Foggy. I hate that character so much in that series.
Yep.
And I was like, well, okay, well, I know what happens now because everyone's telling me that I should watch it.
When I texted you and you said, yeah, you're the 4th person to tell me this, I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. Like, I'm glad that my hatred is getting out there. That's what's defining me.
For sure.
I had a discussion with a friend recently about like what feels better, finding something that you've heard is bad and actually finding it amazing, or watching something that everyone likes and you think is terrible. And I'm like, well, I think it's the second one, but really what it is, it's the first one when you find another person that thinks it's terrible. Then you're like, you get that validation of like, all right, thank you. And so thank you, Chucky, for giving me this validation that Westworld's not that great.
Yeah. God, now I want to like go through my head and just think of like all the things that people say they dislike, but I found enjoyment from, because, there's plenty of horror movies like that, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because I mean, I've been yelled at for my opinions every day. I suffer constantly for being right.
Yes.
But when I'm right about something that's cool. Yeah.
Again, the podcaster is the most, put upon person.
Persecuted.
In America.
Yeah.
Right.
I keep calling and asking them to add it to the flag. And they said, no, we're not going to add some stupid made up thing where you just get to pretend to feel persecuted. I'm like, no. That was a different call I made earlier for exactly that.
For the same thing.
I want a color for a guy who just feels persecuted and left out.
Exactly.
And they said, that's not really a thing.
Take it up with Don Mancini.
Who's in charge of the pride flag?
Exactly.
Don Mancini.
Right. Speaking of a little bit of that, I had seen part of this sequence online as a clip before, but I think it's like the second episode or so. I really do like the sequence where Chucky is sitting on a bed across from Devin, and they're discussing, Chucky's trying to kind of talk about his murderous nature and trying to relate to him being gay. And that's where he mentions Glenn or Glenda, and he says something to the effect of, I may be a murderous doll, but I'm not a monster. I love my kid, and that is a moment. Not only is it clever and fun, but it's like, I don't know if I've ever seen Chucky attempt a heart to heart with somebody for his own ends. Clearly, he's still being manipulative, but I thought it was kind of a sweet scene. It was well done, and it was something we haven't seen out of Chucky before. Yeah, and I think again, like that's something that you need to do to stretch this out into 8 episodes, because you cannot just have no one believes me that it's Chucky. That you need to have so all these characters have this overarching thing of like Chucky kind of appealing to their worst nature. Although mainly just the guys, because I bet he could have gotten Lexi to murder. I bet Lexi would have been on board with murdering. So he's, Yeah. But he was too busy trying to kill her, which is because he tries to get her little sister to do it. He's really just trying to sow seeds to get anyone to murder anyone else. But I really think, he missed the forest for the trees there or whatever. Right.
Yeah. Just right in front of him. And he just ignores it.
Boy, I'll tell you, the cancer subplot kind of came and went out of nowhere, too.
Which is funny because that cancer being hilarious.
Yes.
Is that, one of the character, Devin, his mom, who's a cop, has cancer. And this is a secret that she has. And it's very funny that Don Mancini wrote on Hannibal because that's a plot line in Hannibal.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. That Lawrence Fishburne's wife, I forget the actress that played her now, has been hiding the fact that she has terminal cancer. And so like, you're just bringing that with you. Okay.
Yeah. And I think it's like revealed in one episode and then it's done away with so quickly. Because it's this kind of sleight of hand because she gets tossed out a window. Yeah.
But, whatever. Again, it's just sort of like bringing in these tropes, for lack of a better word, or just these cliches of what happens in television and then kind of subverts them. And I think some of the problem is that tonally, because this feels a lot more like a regular TV show, some of that subversion doesn't play off as well. It doesn't have that kind of madcap feeling to it because everything's so dark and grungy and grimy. I shouldn't say grimy, but just like dark and moody, that it doesn't lend itself to comedy in my mind. But I still think it's kind of played as a joke. Yeah. That it's very serious, but then it's like, but then we just killed her because it's Chucky.
Toss her out a window in a pretty good death scene because her kid is like waiting in the car outside and she lands on the windshield. Obviously we have to examine the deaths. Pretty good, especially for again, I think the idea of for a cable show gets tossed out in this modern era. My favorite probably being the maid in the dishwasher. I mean, the maid in the dishwasher was good. I mean, just for great. Like a direct murder like you would get in a slash movie. It also talk about having your bad opinion validated. Yeah. I'm sorry, correct opinion validated. Don't store stuff in the dishwasher points up. What are you doing? Yeah. Because then what happens? How do you get those out of the dishwasher? You reach out and you grab them. You just put your grubby paws all over my fork. On a blade. Yeah, or a blade. Like, I don't understand why people do that. Right. But that was good. I liked as a sequence, I really like this as a concept. It was executed fine. I don't really have any knocks against it. But the silent disco murders is that Lexi has a party and everyone comes over and they're all having a silent disco. They're all wearing headphones and dancing around, and Chucky gets up to some stuff in that. Some of it gets a little straight because I wouldn't stop you from smelling smoke, but yeah, sure. Whatever. And then, the whole place gets set on fire. But I like that. Like, that is a very creepy
thing to have Chucky stalking around while everyone is oblivious to everything that's going on.
Right. Yeah. So that ended with one of the kids at the high school getting murdered by Chucky, like kind of accidentally. And then the house explodes.
Right.
Or it catches on fire.
He tries to kill her, and in doing so, knocks over some candles. Whatever. So there's elements of Heather's in this because we're dealing with the whole high school thing.
Oh, sure.
That I thought was pretty handled with a light touch, I think, without just directly going, hey, everyone, we're doing Heather's.
Yeah.
About like the popular kids and their awful parents and high school, the politics of living in high school, of existing in high school. But there was a little bit more at the beginning when we're still establishing these characters and their relationships versus like Chucky being directly involved in that.
Sure. Yeah. Some of the kills in the latter half, because those are in the earlier bit, the dishwasher, the disco stuff. Like there's the hospital technician who gets plunged full of needles.
Yep.
And that's just fun to watch Chucky just go to town on him. And then obviously the final sequence with him just running around stabbing people in a theater, which was fun.
Yeah, because there's been this, the mayor's house is burned down because that's where Lexi is the daughter of the mayor, who is eventually revealed that she's just a monster as well. Also going on, they're trying to bring the community together and have a screening of Frankenstein to raise funds. Inside that screening, Chucky is going at people. One of the Chuckies is going to people with knives as they're in the theater, which would just be like, again, you talk about like, so we're making this really teen focused thing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make some William Castle references.
Exactly.
I'm going to have like, it's going to be like the Tingler where you have something in the theater running around, which would be so much fun to see that in the theater and like have something attached to the chair that would like poke you or, not actually murder you, but just preferably something like the William Castle used to do. So that was really fun. And then that's where the mayor's husband and another returning face from the Chucky franchise, Michael Terrell, who was the toe sucking doctor in. Oh yes. They brought him back just as an actor, just to be the mayor. It's not the same character, obviously.
Not the same character. Right.
But they really liked that guy and he's fun. So they brought him back to get murdered again.
Right.
Here.
Yeah. There's also like the principal of the school gets decapitated in front of everybody.
Yes.
That's another good one. Like, man, this town is just getting completely eviscerated.
It's getting hack and sacked.
Yes.
One thing, and this is so stupid, that I might have made it up. At the end, when they're trying to escape from their plan, like Tiffany, because Tiffany is, of course, also a bomb expert, has wired up the house to blow up.
Yes.
And when they set that off, when the house blows up, I swear to God, that's a Blade Runner reference, because it's this swooping shot of Hackensack and the explosion like looks all kind of squished and anamorphic, kind of like the explosion at the beginning of Blade Runner. Yeah. And so I was just like, did someone just do that?
Yeah. You just heard the Vangelis like chimes right there. Yeah.
Which is a great way to do it, because then you have some idiot like me going like, I bet that's what that is. And other people going, oh no, an explosion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the person who worked on the post will hear this and be very excited.
Yeah. We're big voices in Hollywood. And
sure. So I don't know, the whole final episode did leave me a little bit cold, because I feel like they did a little bit too much of the like, we didn't solve anything and maybe there's a season 2.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
They really hung a hat on the fact that they hope there's a season 2. Yeah. And they left a lot of cliffhangers up, because it ends with Chucky sitting in front of the fire being like, oh, hello.
Yes.
And going through talking about the show. And that's where you get the great writers like Shakespeare and Don Mancini.
Yes.
Joke, whatever. But yeah, it was a little bit end of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, just the whole crew just getting arrested, where it's like, well, we didn't really have an ending. We got enough of an ending, but we got to leave stuff open, and we don't really know how to do that. So
yeah. All right, let's honor our dead. Lucas Wheeler, played by Devon Sawa, electrocuted after Chucky vomits booze onto fuse box. Annie, played by Erica Wood, pushed onto knives in open dishwasher. Oliver Hayden, played by Avery Estevez, stabbed in back by Chucky. Detective Sean Payton, played by Travis Milne, stabbed by Chucky with syringes. Delilah, played by Samantha Brown, stabbed to death by Charles Lee Ray and Tiffany in flashback. Principal Megan McVeigh, played by Jenna Peck, decapitated by Chucky. Unnamed car salesman, throat slit by Tiffany in flashback. Bree Wheeler, played by Alexa Doig, pushed out a window by Chucky. Detective Kimberly Evans, played by Rochelle Cassius, pushed downstairs by Chucky, breaking neck. Logan Wheeler, played by Devin Sawa, beaten to death with good guy doll by Junior. Nathan Cross, played by Michael Therault, stabbed through chair. 8 unnamed people stabbed by Chucky through their chairs. Junior Wheeler, played by Ted Briones, stabbed in the chest by Chucky. So yeah, season 1, I mean, I'm very glad to have watched it, and it was a fun distillation of all the Chuckies, I guess you could say, all the different movie tones and all that kind of stuff. And again, like the reason why this was fun is, to me, was because we're constantly going forward. Well, yeah. Besides the flashbacks, but,
we're going forward, except when we're not.
Yeah, but it wasn't like this is the 8-hour version of Child's Play Part 1,
right? Which
I would not have been nearly as thrilled about.
Absolutely.
But since we're going forward, I was happy to spend time with it.
I am curious how that's going to be going forward, because how much more backstory to Chucky do we need?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'd argue we never needed more than we already had, but I feel like because it's so common in TV shows now to do the time jump, flashback, flash forward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that even necessary now? Do we need more setup to why Chucky's doing what he's doing?
Sure. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like, I would say, what do you think will happen in season 2? I truly have no idea.
Yeah, I have no clue.
I mean,
yeah, because it's like the teens are still around.
Because they stayed true to themselves and connected as chosen family and all that kind of
and
stuff
didn't murder. The Chucky wanted them to murder. Nika ends up in an even worse position than when she started.
Goodness. Yeah.
Just, man.
That's a choice.
But yeah, they just put her through the ringer. So there's part of me that wants to just what's going to happen now? What else could you possibly do to this person?
To me, it's like Nika has to go into a doll. That's practically the only outcome.
Yeah. Or you get a basket case 2 situation. Or no, is it 2 or is it 3 where he's in the suit?
Oh, I think it's 3.
Yeah, you're right. It's 3. Yeah. So you get a basket case suit for her.
Nice.
A mech.
Power loader.
Power loader. Yeah. A Nika power loader.
Yeah.
That could be a thing.
I would watch that.
Although I imagine it would be like doll arms or something like that.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep watching, maybe at less of a breakneck speed. We were talking about it, and I think what we're going to do with this, unless there is a major public outcry, we're going to go ahead and next time we'll wrap up our Chucky discussion and then move on. But as we are completionists, of course, I'm not going to stop. But I'd rather, not blaze through another 16 to 20 hours of TV for the show. But we will be watching them. And I think what we're going to do is talk about them on the Patreon. So if you would like to hear about season 2 and season 3, cough up a measly $5. Go check us out on Patreon and check out all the other previous all the other previous Patreon shows that we've done too.
Yeah. And I've just read something and just looking forward, I had just read something about season 3 that I'm very excited to get to.
Oh, goodness.
So,
all right.
Yeah. It's just, it's not Chucky Goes to Space, which they've specifically said they don't want to do Chucky Goes to Space, but it's big and dumb enough that I'm totally on board with it.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, perfect. So that makes me even more so want to keep up with this. So yeah, I've been watching it on Shudder. But so if
I think
y'all have
that's
been watching
only
it,
where it is.
oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So
Maybe I don't know.
what did all of y'all think about this? I mean, stretching Chucky out to 3 seasons of 8 hours a piece that's a big swing, and I'm really glad that Don Mancini has had this opportunity. But how did it fall with all of you? And would you encourage us to watch season 2 and 3 and everybody else? So let us know what you thought of this. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up Child's Play next time. And man, it's time for a new franchise after that. It's been a while. I mean, this has been the bulk of our year so far. So I think what we're going to do is probably pick something a little shorter. After these big beefy ones, we like to do like a 3 or 4 movie type of deal. Extra just keeps coming to mind, but I don't know if we can really put people through that necessarily. So
I don't know. I mean, I've only seen the first one. I know the third one gets a lot of talk about the third one as well, which doesn't speak well for part 2. So I don't know.
Exactly.
But that's a possibility. Now we're not saying.
We're not saying
100% saying Extra.
Rush right out and watch Extra.
Yeah.
It's in the mix. And maybe we'll do another one of those, like, let y'all decide based on a poll on Instagram. That was kind of fun, actually. So
yeah, this is not an explicit endorsement of Extra.
That won't come until after we have watched it and recorded a show, and we can decide if we endorse or not. But all right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for hanging out all through Chucky. Let us know what you thought of this season. And as always, just like if you got a franchise that you're just like bubbling up for us to talk about, we may not hit another big one this year, but I'm not sure. Your Freddy's, your Michael Myers that might be a 2027 thing. But as we look out to the second half of this year, we might do a few more small ones. So get in touch with us. If you got something you want to suggest, we'll consider it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, everyone. Well, until then, rewatch all the Chuckies and then come back and we'll wrap up this franchise next week.
Play them all at once. Set up a bunch of different monitors, a bunch of different windows in your monitor, whatever, and just play them all at once.
There's got to be some sort of stupid like Dark Side of the Moon, like you clap and go all at once with them where they align. But
you become Don Mancini. You become the new Don Mancini.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, that's how he jumps into your body.
Exactly. Very esoteric.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time. Good night.
Good night.
This has been a Caretaker Press production. It was produced by James Strayer and edited by John C. Myers. Logo by Ethan Kimberling and music by Michael Arthur Holloway, who you can find on Bandcamp. Follow us on Instagram at thismayhurtabitpod and email us at thismayhurtabitpod@gmail.com. Give us a 5-star review over on your favorite podcast app, and we'll see you next time.